Welcome back to Just the Facts, y'all. My name is Jimmy. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the podcast. Welcome to 2023. We're going to be more consistent on this thing. Back again on the channel. There will be more Texas football and basketball content as well as on the podcast. But on the channel as well, there will be NFL content and other college football content on the page soon. And then go ahead and follow Just the Facts Hoops. That's where I talk about basketball, mainly NBA, some college basketball as well. But the Texas-based stuff is going to be here. Texas Longhorns, everything's going to be on Just the Facts, as well as some NFL stuff as well. Thank y'all for tuning in. Go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe if you're on YouTube watching this video. If you're on the podcast, go ahead and share it for me, like it, rate it, or whatever you do. And without further ado, as y'all can tell by the title, we're going to talk about Texas basketball today and give y'all a quick little update on the team and what I'm thinking about the team, what I'm seeing, things that are – we're going to pretty much talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly of the team recently, I guess, because I've been wanting to make a video talking about the team and everything, but I never really got the chance to. But here we are now. Unfortunately, we just came off a loss to Iowa State last night. So there's that. That's leaving a bad taste in all of our mouths. We're a top 10 team right now, still holding it down with Chris Beard being fired and pretty much scrubbed from the program at this point. So it's Rodney Terry from here on out. I'm glad we just came out and said that, yeah, we're firing him instead of waiting till the end of the season and having that elephant in the room, per se, loom over the team. And it would be a big distraction around the guys, and that wouldn't be fair to them. And we're going to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly of on-the-court play now. So we're going to start off with the good, of course. And the good this season, one of them has been Marcus Carr. Marcus Carr has been our best player all season, undoubtedly. He's in the race for Big 12 Player of the Year. He's probably going to be in the top 25 finalists for, well, probably already is, for Player of the Year in college basketball. He probably won't win it, but for him to be in the conversation, that says a lot about how he's gotten a lot more comfortable within this roster, within this team and program, despite everything that has gone on and the potential fit issues that could have derailed him and whatnot. But he has been sensational for us this year. Didn't have the greatest game last night, though, but he's been our most consistent guy. He's been our best scorer and most consistent scorer that we've had here at Texas since Andrew Jones was a good scorer. Isaiah Taylor ended up being a pretty good scorer. Curran Roach was pretty good. Guys like that, like Marcus Carr is probably like a more consistent and better scorer than all those guys. And we don't get that often here at Texas. Usually it's like a more balanced attack, but we having a guy that's can put up 20 a game if he really, really asserted himself, but he's at 17 right now. For us to make a run at this thing, man, Carr's going to have a stretch of games where he has to go nuts, because I'll get to the bad and the ugly in a second, but there's some things there that is just not looking so good, and Marcus Carr's going to have to make up for a lot of it, and so far he has. And Timmy Allen, for as much as he was struggling earlier on in the season, he is emerging, and that's another good thing. An emerging Timmy Allen is good for this Texas team. I'm not sure why he took 5 or 6 shots last night. I didn't watch the game, y'all. I don't have Big 12 Network. I mean, not Big 12 Network. I guess ESPN Plus didn't care to get it. I wasn't going to do it just for this game. He took 5 shots last night, and he played 30 minutes. So it's not like he was in – well, he was in foul trouble. He ended up fouling out, but he played 30 minutes and only took 5 shots. So I'm not sure what's going on there. I'm backtracking a little bit. Going back to Timmy Allen, he's been really good for us lately. In his last 9 games, he's averaged 14 points per game. That's kind of comparing to his last 8 games when he only averaged 8 points per game. And you're kind of seeing him assert himself more in the mid-range and get into a shot. We really saw that in that TCU game in the second half, the Texas Tech game in the second half. Timmy Allen has really asserted himself within this iteration of this team. And I thought it was a weird fit for Timmy Allen. That's why I was kind of concerned early on in the year for him, because now we had Tyrese Hunter. We only have a couple guys that can we only have one guy that has been a good 3-point shooter with volume, and that's Marcus Carr. We've had Brock Cunningham, who's the only other good 3-point shooter on the team right now. He's very low volume. We're not really relying on him to shoot shots unless he's wide open. So with Timmy Allen there, I thought the spacing was bad and kind of awkward and didn't really fit his game. But he's getting to more of his mid-range stuff where he's so automatic in. Love to see it. So hopefully that Iowa State game was an anomaly and he can keep on doing his thing because we're going to need it come tournament time. A good Timmy Allen means a good Texas. Now, usually being a Texas fan means a lot of stagnation on offense and a lot of ball sticking and things like that. And we've had our fair share this season. But this season more than ever, even comparing it to the 3-guard lineup we had with Coleman, Jones, and Ramey in 2021, that was a really great backcourt with those 3 guys. But we never had like this high of an assist rate. At least I don't think we did that year. We're 17th in the country in assists and around the same assist to turnover ratio as well. So we're really good with passing the ball and moving whenever we're getting the offense going. I think a lot of that comes in transition when we actually can get out on the break, which is very beneficial for us because we can't shoot in the half court. So getting out in open space, having guys running with Dylan Mitchell and, Arterio Morris off the bench and Serge Rice, it can get really fun sometimes in transition. And whenever we're flowing like that, even in the half court, that keeps on going. And that's where the assists rack up. And I know we like to go with the 3-guard lineup of Hunter, Serge Rice, and Marcus Carr. That's going to help out the assist rate, of course, because those 3 guys are all playmakers. But also Timmy Allen's a really good playmaker, believe it or not. Like, he's had a couple games where he's had 8-9 assists. The fast break points, like I mentioned, we're very good in the fast break with athleticism and playing off of our defense. We're top 25 in points per game and fast break points. I think we're actually closer to top 10, if I'm not mistaken. But we're up there in terms of fast break points and everything. So if we can continue to play solid defense, we'll be able to get out on the break. We force a lot of turnovers, top 25 in that as well. So if we can force a lot of turnovers and kind of execute in the fast break, I think we'll be very, very good moving forward into the Big 12. So that's all the good things. Marcus Carr and emerging Timmy Allen, the team assists and fast break points. Now, let's get to the bad. I'm not going to harp on it too much, but I will talk about these couple things, and then we'll get to the ugly, and then we'll talk about how to improve at the end. Now, bad has been rebounding. We've been out-rebounded 7 times, which probably doesn't seem like too much since we've played, 17 games so far. 3 of those times we've lost the game, which are all 3 losses. We've been out-rebounded. And there was another game in there we should have lost to Rice, where they destroyed us on the boards, especially on the offensive glass with that fielder guy. We should have lost that game too, but I give our guys credit because that was the game the same day that Chris Beard got arrested and whatnot. We only have a +2 rebound margin on the season, which, being a Texas fan, I'm not used to that. I'm used to us dominating the boards at least, but we're not dominating the boards. We're playing good defense. We're not finishing out with the rebound, and that's all included in defense. So boxing out, finding a man to box out, boxing him out, and securing the rebound is great. Now, no guys like to run out in transition, get a head start, leak out, but at the same time, we got to find a medium to where we can get guys in the paint to rebound the ball, make sure we secure it, and then we can push ahead and start our break if we can. So rebounding has been a big issue so far. It has killed us in some games. Defending without fouling is something that we need to get better at as well. We really keep teams in the game by pushing them to the bonus early on, and then they keep getting to the free throw line. I think Iowa State took, 30-some free throws last night or something like that. I didn't watch the game, y'all, so I'm not sure about the context of how that all came about. But in the other games I've watched this season, I've watched every other game pretty much, we sometimes get in the bad habit of getting out of position to where we end up fouling. And I don't think guys are like reaching in recklessly or stuff like that. I just think like, oh, we're trying to draw a charge and we try to slide in there last second. It's a block, or guys are just out of position and it's like a little hip check or a block. It's little plays like that, or relate to rotate to the rim and it ends up being a foul. So defending without fouling is something we got to get better at. Now, the offensive consistency is the last thing I want to talk about whenever we're talking about the bad that I've seen so far, especially in Big 12 play. It's frustrating because there's games where we should blow out a team, and it looks like it's trending that way. And then, it gets pulled back, and they go on a run, and the game's a lot closer than you think. The game's a lot closer than it should be, and we lose, or we should have lost. The Oklahoma State game. We won that game by 10, 56-46. That came after the game where we gave up 116 to K-State, right? We gave up half of that against Oklahoma State, which I guess is kind of impressive because to be able to turn on the flip the switch like that is impressive. But at the same time, I think we're playing the worst offense in the conference. So we held them scoreless in the first. We held them without a field goal, not scoreless, but without a field goal for 11 minutes of game time in the first half. And the biggest lead we could amount to that was up 10. I'll repeat it again. In Oklahoma State, this was in the first half. We held them without a field goal made for an 11-minute stretch. The biggest lead we got was up 10. Wow. In the second half, we held them scoreless on field goals for 8 minutes straight. We only end up winning the game by 10. Now, if there are 2 long stretches within a game where they don't score at all, 11 minutes in the first half and 8 minutes in the second half where they don't score a field goal at all, that's damn near 20 minutes of game time where they don't score a field goal. And we can only amount to win by 10. That goes back to offensive consistency. Now, Oklahoma State's a pretty good defensive team, but if we're getting stops consistently every single time, that means we're rebounding the ball. That means we're able to get out in transition sometimes because they're turning the ball over. And we can't convert and put these teams away. That's going to come back to bite us. And I get it. It's the Big 12. It's the best conference in basketball by far, by the way. But we have an opportunity to put these teams away, and we can't put them away. We have to be able to do that if we're going to become a championship level team. That's the bad. Now, let's get to the ugly. I'm going to be as nice as possible when I say this, but last night when I was looking at the box score of the game, because like I said, I'm not going to watch the game on ESPN Plus, not paying for it. See that, Tyrese Hunter playing his old team in Iowa State for the first time. Okay, he has, 8 points? Okay, he has 8 points in the first couple minutes of the game. Hit a couple threes, got to the free throw line. Okay, I'm like, is he going to go off? He's going to go off in this game. This is a breakout game, right? Because he only scored, he didn't score against Texas Tech at all. From what I remember. Yeah, I'm looking at it right here. He didn't score in the Texas Tech game. And only had 11 points in the previous 3 games combined. Texas Tech, TCU, and Oklahoma State. 11 combined points for Tyrese Hunter in 79 minutes played. Right? He proceeds to not score again the rest of the game until like the end. Or I think he scored all 10 of his points in the first half. Something like that. And what I said was, in my head, I'm like, yeah, he can stay in Ames. He don't need to take the plane ride back to Austin. He can stay in Ames right there where he is. He can stay right there where he came from, right? Tyrese Hunter, I'm not sure what's going on with him. Now, he dealt with the cramping stuff earlier in the season, so that kind of caught him out of sync, I thought. But what's most frustrating about his disappearance is that he started off the season well. Now, if he started off the season slow, I would have been like, okay, he's trying to get acclimated to Marcus Carr and the two guard lineup and the lack of spacing on the team, things like that, right? The new teammates, everything. He's trying to get used to it. If he was struggling in the beginning of the season, I would have been like, okay, fine. But in the beginning of the season, he had 18 points, 10 points, 26 points against Gonzaga, 10 points, 17 points, 15 points, 10 points. And since the Illinois game, I can even say since the Creighton game, 1, 2, 3 times he's reached double figures. He's scored single digits 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. And 10 times he scored 10 or less. With the exception of the anomaly game, the breakout game versus Kansas State, 29 points. Which, those 29 points, I'm not discrediting it, but it was an inflated game, a super high scoring game in regulation where it's just up and down, everyone's scoring. I'll give him that, though. Other than that, Tyrese Hunter's been bad. Straight up. He'll admit it. Coaches, they probably won't admit it, but they should. He's been bad. And I'm not really sure what it is. He's turning the ball over, not making smart decisions, being passive. When he is passive, he's just missing shots. He's just not making anything. And this is not the guy we saw gave us a bucket last year. I'm trying to be patient, but at the same time, it's like, we're going to need you for a run, bro. We're going to need you for a run. Guard play is essential for a run. I don't know what it is. Y'all let me know what y'all think is wrong with Tyrese Hunter. Does he just not fit with us? Does he not fit with Carr? Is there something wrong, you think, mentally or something? Like legit questions. Y'all let me know what it is. But to wrap it up, the three-point shooting is also in the ugly category. We're shooting under 33%, which is in the 200s in college basketball. Besides Marcus Carr and Brock Cunningham, who are both shooting 41%, by the way, nobody's shooting over 32%. And that 32%, I believe, is Hunter. So, three-point shooting, it's not a surprise that Texas never has been good. So, not good again. So, yeah. How can we improve throughout the rest of the season? Play with pace and push it. But that comes from playing off a solid defense. So we have to really stay in position and keep forcing turnovers and things to that nature, rebounding, because we can then play with pace and push it, because our offensive half court is atrocious. So if we can play in the full court as much as possible and run teams up and down, I think that'll bode well for us. It's kind of weird because I feel like we have to play fast and slow at the same time, because we saw the Kansas State game. If we get into track meet with someone, we can lose. But if we kind of slow it down, we can win a gritty game, but that's not when we play our best. We play our best offensively when we're running up and down. It's so weird. But I think we can play with also smaller lineups with Brock Cunningham at the 5, or I guess Timmy Allen, whoever. One of those guys at the 5. It would be like Brock, Timmy, Marcus, Jabari Rice is going to be in the closing lineups, and Hunter. Or maybe they'll take out Hunter and put in a big. But I would like to see that small 5 lineup a little more. We've seen it a couple times. I think Oklahoma State and I think TCU. But I think that lineup can help us out a little bit with spacing. And then let's just hope to be 500 at the end of conference play. Now, I'm not saying the whole world, the whole sky is falling and everything, but what are we, 15-3? We're 4-2 in conference right now. So we're there, but it's gonna take a lot to win this conference. Kansas Kansas State. Those are the 2 top teams in the conference. They proved it last night. And then after that, you have Texas, you have Iowa State, Baylor, I think, is going to find their way back, and then TCU. So we'll see, man. But y'all let me know what y'all think about the team so far and how we'll finish out. Let me know what y'all's good, bad, and ugly is for this team. And without further ado, I'm going to wrap this thing up. If you're listening to this, make sure to share it for me. Make sure to rate it for me on Spotify. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe. And I'm going to finish this out how I always do. This is Jimmy from Just the Facts. I'm signing out. Peace.